My father passed away when I was 4.5, leaving me, now a 21-year-old man, in the care of my paternal grandparents. After his death, my biological mother abandoned me, leaving me with them. She only reappeared once when I was 6, demanding money from my grandparents, claiming it was her right as my father's widow. She didn't even ask about me or my well-being before disappearing again. My grandparents became my legal guardians and raised me until I turned 18. They never pursued my biological mother for financial support, instead focusing on securing my future. I inherited a small sum from my father, and my grandparents sold some of his possessions that held no sentimental value to me, adding the proceeds to my inheritance. My mother had previously shown no interest in keeping those items, and the things my father cherished were preserved. 2 years ago, my biological mother contacted my grandparents through social media, asking for my father's belongings that had already been sold. She claimed she needed the money they could fetch. My grandparents informed her that the items were long gone, and she wasn't entitled to anything, as she had explicitly declined them years earlier. She then mentioned having a child with cancer who needed funds for treatment. My grandparents firmly stated that my father's money wouldn't support another man's child. A year later, she reached out to me directly, wanting to discuss the money she knew I had, saying it would help her family, including her 4 children, one of whom was undergoing cancer treatment. I blocked her without responding. A few months later, during the summer, she messaged me from another account, sending a link to a crowdfunding campaign for her child's medical expenses. The campaign wasn't solely for treatment, it also covered their accommodation and other costs. I ignored it and didn't contribute. 2 months after that, her husband, a complete stranger to me, messaged me, claiming I should help my half-sister. I blocked him and made that account private. Later, my biological mother found another of my social media accounts and sent multiple messages overnight, accusing me of abandoning my younger siblings, especially the sick one, to spite her. She argued that her children were innocent and didn't deserve my refusal. I replied, telling her to leave me alone, as I wasn't part of her family and had no interest in funding her kids. Then I blocked her again. She contacted my grandparents once more, accusing them of raising me to be cold and uncaring toward family. They dismissed her harshly. It's baffling how frustrated she and her husband are. They even berated my grandparents, acting as if we owe them or their children something. To me, she's merely the woman who gave birth to me. She's not a selfless donor who gave up a child for a noble cause, nor a loving mother who made a mistake. Her only interest is money. With every interaction, her children feel more like strangers I'd see mentioned online. Was it wrong to ignore the crowdfunding campaign? I could have donated, as it wasn't about affordability, I just didn't want to. What does that make me? Am I wrong? It's a tragic situation, a child battling cancer, but it's not your burden. You're biologically related, but you likely wouldn't recognize them in a crowd. Your biological mother only reached out because she wanted something. I'd be skeptical of her motives. If I were spiteful, I'd donate to a children's cancer charity in her daughter's name and ask her husband why he's comfortable begging the son his wife abandoned, and whether he thinks she'd abandon their kids too if he were gone. I question how much of that crowdfunding money would actually go to treatment. Are they even telling the truth about the cancer? These people seem like opportunists, using their kids to guilt you, just as they tried with your grandparents. You can't control what they do with any money you gave. They're after cash, nothing more. I'm a 26-year-old man raised by my mother and 5 older sisters after my father died when I was 1. Growing up in a mostly female household shaped my interests, though it's not the sole reason I enjoy musicals and romance. My sisters and I would sing along to movies like Grease, Mary Poppins, and Chicago, and we loved watching High School Musical together. We'd attend local performances of Rent whenever it came through. I also enjoy romantic books, films, and even video games with romantic storylines. Everyone who knows me knows this about me. My wife, 25, appreciates this side of me, and I used to get along well with her 23-year-old sister until last year, when she began insisting I must be secretly gay or bisexual. She's become blatant, claiming straight men don't enjoy musicals or romance so passionately and that I must have some attraction to men. She's even suggested my upbringing in a female-dominated household explains it. My wife defends me every time, and we've started seeing her sister less because of this. Whenever we do meet, they end up arguing, with my wife calling her sister narrow-minded and less accepting than she claims to be for not understanding that a man can love musicals and romance while only being attracted to women. Last weekend, their argument escalated when my sister-in-law told my wife there's nothing wrong with me liking men and that my enthusiasm for musicals proves it. My wife set a firm boundary, saying if her sister continues, we'll cut contact. She added that she doesn't want this influence around our future children and won't tolerate me being disrespected at family gatherings. My sister-in-law looked at me, expecting me to defend her, saying I was letting my wife overreact. I told her I wasn't getting involved, and she insisted I should back her up, calling my wife's reaction absurd. I didn't respond. Later, she texted me a lengthy message, urging me not to take it seriously and to convince my wife to stop fighting over it. I ignored the text. I'm not that bothered by her, but her constant comments are tiresome, and I don't connect with her like I used to. The rest of my wife's family is upset but understands, telling her sister to stop talking. I feel a bit sorry for her, but she won't let it go. Should I urge my wife to reconsider cutting her off and defend her sister a little? You're not wrong. Your sister-in-law is out of line. Your wife is standing up for you. Why would your sister-in-law expect you to undermine yourself to support her? She seems to have personal issues, maybe jealousy or unresolved baggage. She should talk to someone. It's absurd she'd attack you for not defending her after she disrespects you. Her comments are outdated and offensive, and then she adds a condescending twist by implying you should control your wife. She's a mess. She might be envious because she can't find someone like you, and it frustrates her. Tell your wife to distance herself from her toxic sister. She's lost the right to be in your lives. I'm a 25-year-old man living with my 33-year-old partner and her preteen daughter, who has autism, from a previous relationship. For the past few weeks, a recurring issue has been her daughter waking up at 7:30 a.m. and banging a drum in her room. This has never been a problem before, as it's her way of expressing herself and relieving stress. But it's become relentless, random banging that disrupts sleep, especially on my days off. This morning, I jokingly told my partner I might hide the drum to get more rest, and she snapped, saying I was immature and that's not how to handle it. She then closed our bedroom door and the banging stopped. I've tried discussing with both my partner and her daughter about timing the drumming for when everyone's awake, but it hasn't worked. When I mentioned this to her daughter in front of her aunt, the aunt told her to ignore me and keep drumming, completely dismissing me. I love my partner and plan to propose this month, but I'm frustrated. I pay the bills and keep the household running, yet I feel I have no say in decisions. Her daughter understands instructions, but often ignores them without consequences. Am I wrong for wanting to set boundaries with her daughter? I'm not sure if you're wrong, as I don't have experience with autistic children, but hold off on proposing. You need to assess if this relationship, including with a special needs child, is sustainable long-term. Love alone might not be enough. It's easier to leave now than after marriage. Why are you, at 25, solely responsible for finances for a 33-year-old and her child? This setup seems one-sided. You deserve a voice in the home you support, especially when the aunt, who doesn't live there, undermines you. It's time to reconsider. Your partner using your age to dismiss your concerns, regardless of their validity, isn't healthy. This dynamic doesn't support a proposal. You're young, live your life. Don't propose. My boyfriend and I were together for some time, and things were mostly good, except for one issue, his best friend. Early on, I noticed his friend would casually touch my hand during conversations or when sitting near me, which made me uncomfortable. I raised this with my boyfriend multiple times, hoping he'd understand, but he brushed it off, saying it's just his friend's personality or that I was overreacting. Recently, his friend asked me to take a photo with him, and I declined politely, feeling uneasy. My boyfriend got upset, saying I embarrassed his friend and created tension. I tried explaining again how his friend's actions crossed my boundaries, but he didn't care. The next day, he ended our relationship, accusing me of stirring drama and complicating his friendship. It hurt that he chose his friend over understanding me. I keep wondering if I'm to blame. Was I wrong for standing up for my boundaries? Is your boyfriend in love with his friend? I can't imagine a guy tolerating his friend touching his girlfriend like that unless he's okay with it for some reason. Most men would be upset if their friend tried holding their girlfriend's hand. It feels like he prioritizes his friend over you. Don't doubt yourself. Setting boundaries isn't causing drama. I've been in a similar situation, and people who get upset when you say no often benefit from your lack of boundaries. You deserve a partner who makes you feel secure. The breakup's true reason may never be clear. Maybe he and his friend are close in ways you don't know, or maybe he used this as an excuse to end things. Either way, move forward. This was a lesson for a better future. Next weekend, I'm hosting a party for my preschool-aged son, and my extended family is invited. One relative has a service dog. I'm not fond of dogs. They mentioned bringing the dog, and I agreed, but set clear rules. Treat it like a public setting, no bathroom breaks, no feeding, no climbing on furniture, no running around or playing, and no barking. I expect the dog to be in work mode the entire time. The party is officially 2 hours, after which I expect most guests to leave. The relative called my rules absurd and said they expected better from family. They declined the invitation and shared this with other relatives, causing drama. I've been getting flack from others. Am I wrong? I'm open to a service dog, not a pet. In the past, others allowed the dog to relax and roam the yard, but I don't want that. A true service dog shouldn't do those things anyway. If it's an emotional support animal that's poorly trained, they'd struggle with these rules. You're not wrong for setting clear expectations up front. You can establish boundaries in your home. I hope your party goes well without dogs. But banning bathroom breaks? Do you not use the restroom at work? Your rules, especially the no bathroom one, seem harsh. A tower time limit for a kid's party is unusual. Your post suggests resentment toward the dog and its owner. No wonder others are talking. Kids' parties often have set times, and you're not wrong for wanting a service dog to act like one. But banning bathroom breaks was excessive. It'd be better to designate a spot for that and ask them to clean up.